All right, hi everyone. It's just Sarah today. Egan is helping my mom at my aunt's house doing some stuff. I wish he was here that he could do this with me, but I really need to make a decision. We need to make a decision on our sperm donor. So I decided to do a little video about how that process works, or how it's at least worked for us. So there is not a cryobank in the state of Utah. Um, for whatever reason, I don't know. But there are cryobanks that will ship to Utah. And so Egan actually bought us tickets to an infertility or family event, LGBTQ family event in 2018, actually. And quite an adventure that was. We met a lot of amazing people and great resources from cryobanks to doulas to photography to legal advice. So it was really great. And while we were there, they did a raffle, and a lot of the people that had booths and were like sponsors to the event were raffling things off, and the California Cryobank was there, and they were raffling off a free vial of sperm. Now, that might seem kind of weird, like how much can a vial of sperm cost? Well, at the California Cryobank, vials of sperm range from $945 to $1,045. Those are the prices that I've seen on the donors that I've been looking at. So you're basically getting $1,000 free. So which was pretty awesome. So we put most of our tickets in that. And they drew out one. They reached just drawing out one for how many things that they were giving away. And so the gentleman that was there from the California Cryobank drew out a ticket. It wasn't me or Egan. And so we were kind of disappointed. That was the main thing. We'd put all of our tickets in. And then he said, I'm feeling really generous, and I feel like we need to do another one. And so he pulled out another ticket, and it was my name, and I started bawling. Because this vial could be our chance to have a baby. We don't have a ton of money. We've been generously supported by some amazing people in our lives. And so we have enough money that we can purchase four or five vials of sperm, depending on shipping. And why do you need so many? Well, you need they recommend that you purchase 4 vials of sperm per child you wish to conceive, because it takes 4 tries to have a baby. So, and they recommend that if you want them to all have the same donor, that you purchase all the vials up front, which for our case, we want 2 children, so we would need to purchase 8 vials of sperm up front. That's over $8,000 up front, which we don't have that much. We haven't been able to save that much. Long story short, we're going to purchase as many as we can, and then hope for the best. And if we end up having to have a new donor, then we end up having to have a new donor. Like, I just feel like we need to do what we can with what we have, and put our faith in the Lord that if this is meant to be, then it will be. Somehow it will work out. So nonetheless, it's that time that we need to really buckle down and figure out the donor that we wish to use. And the reason that we have like a time limit here is because Egan's insurance will actually reimburse us, which is amazing. Will reimburse us for our sperm. So if we can purchase it and have it shipped to one of the clinics here through his insurance, they will reimburse us that amount, up to a certain amount. I think we'd have to pay like $180 or something like that, like a copay type thing. So we really want to get to this business. So if you go on the California Cryobank, and one of the things that I like about the California Cryobank is that with COVID, they're now they've offered to send the cryo tanks to your residence, where before you had to have them shipped to a clinic. And not all cryobanks do it that way, but that's just how the California Cryobank does it. So if you go on their website, you can search. You don't have to pay anything for a membership to search for a donor. They do have other memberships that you can pay for if you choose to have more information, or if your donor has more photos. You can. They now have like adult photos. You can see what they look like as an adult. I haven't done that. So, but one of the great things about the California Cryobank, this is not an ad, just a shout out to them though, because they donated that vial to us. So, they do offer storage. So if you purchase 4 vials of sperm at the same time, they give you a year storage free. If you purchase 8 vials, enough for what they recommend for 2 children, they'll give you 3 years storage free. Now, the great thing about that is storage adds up. It's typically a monthly fee. The fees range in price, so that is a really great thing. Another cryobank that I looked into, that a lesbian couple, I have been watching them on YouTube. They use the Fairfax Cryobank, and they offer 3 months storage for free. So each cryobank is going to offer different things. So here's some of our picks. We picked, so when you go onto the cryobank's website, you can filter out the most important things for you. The list of things you can filter and search for is really long. So you have to determine what is most important to you. For me, I want someone that looks like Egan. Clearly, that's the given. It's an emotional process. It's way more emotional than I anticipated it being, picking a donor. It's this idea that I just want to have a baby with my husband, and that's not possible. And so it's coming to terms with the fact that we need help having a baby. And there's different reasons for that. Obviously, people that are in a typical heterosexual relationship that need help, they have to deal with that same type of thing. But in our case, Egan is trans. So here's some of the ones that we've selected, and I'll post pictures of them afterwards just so you can see kind of what we're looking at. So donor number 15705, and he has a good picture, and so some of them don't. There's one of them that I really like, but he doesn't have a picture. So this one is he has a master's degree in political science and public policies. He wants to be in politics and make change for people. His complexion is medium. He has straight hair, brown hair, and blue eyes. So Egan has blue eyes and brown hair. So that was some of the ones that I picked up on. He's Caucasian, so that's good. One of the things I thought was interesting is that they put on here Jewish ancestry, self-reported. And I was like, why is that important? Specifically Jewish ancestry. And I guess one thing that I read in my research on that was that there are certain things that the Jewish ancestry is prone to have, and so they just want you to know about that. That was just a little bit of information that I found on it, so I don't know a ton about that, but nonetheless, he does report that he has Jewish ancestry. And the other thing that was intriguing to me was the CMV total antibody, and that means that they've had the herpes virus, whether they've had the herpes virus, and herpes is a wide variety of different types of herpes. Even a cold sore is herpes. So, and this donor, they test them each donor, and they test them whether they're positive or negative, and they can't be positive like an active herpes virus for 6 months. And so this one tested positive, but we know that they wouldn't allow them to donate if they had an active herpes virus. So, and that's only a big deal if the woman has not had herpes, because if they get herpes while they're pregnant, it's apparently not very great. So the second one we've been looking at is donor 14146, Film Fanatic. And this gentleman really loves film, particularly cameras and that type of thing. And he doesn't look as much like Egan, I would say. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, really. But blue eyes, brown hair, wavy hair, because Egan has wavy brown hair. Fair complexion, Caucasian, English, Irish, no Jewish ancestry, has a bachelor's degree in film studies, positive for the CMV total antibody, has had pregnancies, because that's an important one that you look at. No expanded genetic testing, though, which has been an interesting one. And the first one that I talked about has expanded genetic testing and tested positive for a recessive gene mutation. So I'm planning on doing prenatal gene counseling, so we'll see what that looks like. And then the last one that we were thinking of is 11422, which doesn't have a picture, but it says artistic and creative. And the reason that I was looking at this one is because he reported he's part Dutch, which Egan, anyone that knows Egan, is 100% Dutch. Both of his parents are from the Netherlands, of them. But he has no picture, but blue eyes, brown wavy hair, medium complexion, Caucasian, ancestry along with Dutch, Australian, Israeli, Polish, and Russian. Does report being Jewish, has a master's in art, secondary education, English, philosophy are the areas that he studied. CMV total antibody positive. No expanded genetic testing. So one of the three that we were looking at has that expanded genetic testing. So lookalikes on this one, Bill Paxton when he was young, and Bryan Cranston. So I don't know which one to pick. I'm kind of leaning towards the first one just because he has a picture and I can tell he kind of looks like Egan. So, but I'm curious, if you were looking for a sperm donor, what would be one of your, main things that you would want to look for? I'm here watching the dogs at work. My puppy is just not happy. You can probably hear her. She wants to just be outside all the time. So anyway, but yeah, I'm curious. Put in the comments below what you think you would pick. And I'll put the 3 pictures and you tell me 1, 2, or 3 which one we should pick, because I'm curious. And tell me, what if you were selecting a donor, what would be the one thing that you would want to look for? Thanks for watching.